Do you think that the free agents to be, including Durant, that you say you've been in the middle of it, so much is assumed that they have already made up their minds and also somehow signaled to teams that are desperate to have max contracts filled out, certainly to help make the moves that they've made cash, that they have communicated to these teams that they're interested in coming or are coming? Do you think that anybody has actually done such a thing?
I think they're smart enough to not ever do that directly. Do I think that, a team like the Knicks has a very high level of optimism that would not be there if some reason for optimism had not been, conveyed to them? No, they're not. I do not believe they're doing this of their own accord entirely to best position themselves to get, two specific max players. I think that the league has itself a very challenging situation when it comes to tampering because, it's not that hard in any walk of life to have a message conveyed through a couple of back channels so that the certain people's hands are clean and then they can go about their business. And I don't know exactly how that sausage is made every single time, but the Knicks thing is real. There's a reason that they feel really good about their shot at this thing, but that's not, for me anyway, at all to say that it's already over the finish line and we're just waiting for him to put on the jersey. I still fall back on the reality that from a human standpoint, if you're a guy like Kevin Durant and you go win a third straight title and your mind has to then process what's best for you in your career, like there are still events to happen here that do play a part. But do I think wheels are in motion in certain spots? Absolutely.
So what makes you think that the Knicks thing is real, Sam?
Having spoken to people on that side on both sides of the ledger, but haven't had told that. I mean, as you know, Rich, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Sure.
And share those talks, but I wrote a column about 2-3 weeks ago that had the kind of tone that I certainly never would have taken if it was sheer speculation. In the wake of the Porzingis trade, I was somewhat surprised to learn a few things that on the Knicks side said, wow, okay, so you guys feel pretty good about this. And then you have the gray area which is what sorts of things the teams themselves are saying. And then you have, one person removed what they are telling other teams, which is where a lot of times you got to be responsible with that, obviously, because, it becomes a game of telephone, but that's also where a lot of the truth comes out with, what are these teams telling each other in private conversations. But this stuff is free agency doesn't start on July 1st. That's just the bottom line. And I know the league would love to have a utopian world where that is the case. It's just not. These teams want to kind of up the odds of their chances of getting the best players on the planet, and they feel like they have to get ahead of it to do that.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.